Yes. So we have three charges, right? There are three charges, Q1, Q2 and Q3. Q1, Q2 and Q3. These are the three charges, and these charges are kept at the vertices of an equilateral triangle. So here we have an equilateral triangle. So what is an equilateral?
A triangle whose all three sides and all three angles are equal.
And angles are equal to 60 degree, right?
60 degrees.
So this is an equilateral triangle, and Q1, Q2, Q3 are the three charges which are kept, and the side of the equilateral triangle is given L. L is the side of that. Okay, right? Now it is asked that what is the force on charge Q, capital Q, which is kept at the centroid of the triangle. Okay, so there is a charge capital Q and it is kept at the centroid. Now what is this centroid? What is the centroid of the equilateral triangle?
So centroid is the meeting point of the three medians of the three medians of an equilateral triangle
Now
or
what do
any
you mean by
triangle.
median?
So median is the line dropped from a vertex opposite to one side of a triangle, which splits that particular line in two
Yeah, so
equal parts.
basically in equilateral triangle, median is also the perpendicular bisector and it is also the angle bisector, because you know that there are symmetric situations in case of equilateral triangle, isn't? So this is point O, which is actually the centroid, and you know that this will be L by 2, L by 2, this will be L by 2, L by 2. Am I right? This is also L by 2, L by 2, and these points are A, B and C. Agreed? Now we have to determine the force acting on this, right? We have to determine the force acting on this point O. So how can we do that? That's the question.
So we calculate the force of each of Q1, Q2, Q3 at A, B, and C, and then
Was it discussed in the class?
do vector
Was it
addition,
discussed in
and
the
then
class or a similar question discussed?
yes, so question was not discussed in the class, but yesterday
Okay, I gave you the idea. Yes,
we
yes,
had
yes.
discussed the topic.
So you see here that on this charge capital Q, here you kept a charge capital Q. So this charge, say this is Q1, this is Q2, and this is Q3. Okay, and what will happen that this charge, yesterday I discussed it. Very good. So this is the first force which is acting. Let it be F1. Agreed. Then on this Q charge, because of this Q3, there will be another force acting like this, and then there will be a force acting like this due to the charge Q1. Agreed? So like this, these forces are acting. Okay, and it is mentioned in the question only that Q1 is equal to Q2 is equal to Q3, and that is equal to small q. Okay, this is given in the question only. Okay, that Q1, Q2, Q3, they all are equal and they are equal to Q. It is given in the question. Now if it is given, then what can you say about the force acting due to charge Q1, Q2 and Q3 on O?
So the force of Q1, Q2, Q3 will all be equal.
Force acting on just a minute. Force acting on 0 or O, right? Force acting on O due to 1 is equals to force acting on O due to 2, force acting on O due to 3, and these all forces must be equal. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
sir.
Can we do one thing? We can write, see, this is due to Q1, the force acting is this. We can write it F. Here also we can write it F. Here also we can write it F. Agreed? Correct or not? These forces must be equal. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. So this is the line. Okay. And this is F. This is again F. Now you tell me this angle is 60 degree. So this angle has to be 30. This has to be again 30 degree. Now what is this remaining angle? It will be
Sir, I couldn't
okay.
hear anything for some time.
Is it audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this
Yes, sir.
angle is 30 degree. This angle is 30 degree. So this angle will be 120 degree. This angle will be 120 degree. Correct na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So angle between this force F and this force F. Okay, no, that is not the angle between this force F. So that we have to calculate actually. Okay, anyway, so we have forces like this. Okay, like this, and then there is another force, this. Okay, F. What this angle will be? Let's calculate this. You know, this is 30, this is 30, so it is 60. Complete angle is 60. Okay, and if this is 30 and this angle will be 90 degree, isn't? Because this is the perpendicular bisector.
Yes, sir.
So 90, 30, 150.
Yes, sir.
So what is the remaining one? This one. This angle will be 30 degree.
30 degree.
This is
30
30.
degree.
This is 90. So it will be 60 degree. Sorry, it will be 60 degree. Right? No,
Yes, sir. It is
60 degree. And this one is
Yes,
also
sir. It is
60 degree.
60.
So you tell me
Yes, sir.
that the angle between
Yes, sir.
these two forces will be how much? 120 degree.
120 degree.
Now,
120
do
degree.
you remember the formula which you studied in vector last year? R is equals to resultant of two vectors is equals to under the root a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. Do you remember this formula? So resultant of
Yes, sir.
this f and this f at an
Yes,
angle
sir.
of 120 degree. If you remember, that resultant will also come f only. I will tell you why. See, f square plus f square plus 2 into f is f square. Cos 120. Cos 120 is minus 1 by 2. This 2 and 2 will cancel. It is equals to under the root f square plus f square minus f square. It will cancel. So this will be f. Under the symmetric situation, what will happen that the resultant of these two forces, you will find that it will be acting exactly opposite to this downward force. Okay, exactly opposite to this downward force. This force is F and this force is also F. Now these two forces are acting, but they are acting opposite to each other, aren't they? They are
Yes, sir.
they are equal in magnitude. They
Yes,
are
sir.
equal in magnitude. Equal in magnitude. Magnitude. But they are opposite in
Direction.
direction. So what will happen? They will
Direction.
balance each other. So if these forces are balancing each other,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
then the net force acting on charge q will be zero. What do you think? Is it?
0.
So what will be the answer? The great invention of Aryabhat. 0.
0.
Yes. I hope you understood
0.
this. Are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now
Yes, sir.
we can do a similar question where you can actually tell me what I supposed to do, or I can do one thing. I can give you this question as an assignment. Okay, you will work on this particular question and then we can discuss it next term. Okay, so question says that there is an equilateral triangle again. Okay, there is an equilateral triangle again. Here we have an equilateral triangle. Okay, and you have, these are the vertices A, B, C. Okay, these are the vertices, and they have given the charges. Charge on A is Q. Charge on B is also Q. Charge on B is also Q, and charge on C is minus Q. Okay, what you have to do, the side of the equilateral triangle is L. Okay, so all sides are L only, right? What you have to do is, you have to find the force. Find the force. Find the force on each charge. On each charge. Okay, you have to find the force on each charge which is there. Right? So individually you will be doing it for point A, point B, point C, and then you will be finding these forces. Okay, on individual charge, this and this. Okay, so this is your assignment. Try to do this. Okay, we will be discussing it next turn, that what are the problems we are facing in order to solve this. Okay, right? Yes, Aryan? Let's see the next question now. Next question says that there are two fixed point charges. Okay, we have two fixed point charges. Two fixed point charges. So there are two fixed point charges, plus 4 times E and plus E. Okay, units, and they are separated. Okay, these charges are separated. They are separated, and they are separated by a distance A. Separated by A. Okay, by distance A. Right? We have to find out where should the third charge, where should the third charge be placed for it to be in equilibrium. 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 Okay, so this is the question now. So we have to keep the third charge. Of course, this third charge is not mentioned, so we have to assume it something. Let it be Q or something, and then you have to actually find out. So what we will do is, we will be assuming two charges. Not assuming. We have given two charges. One is plus 4E and the other one is plus E. So this is plus 4E and this is plus E. Okay, and they are being separated by a distance small a. So they are separated by a distance small a, right? We have to find the distance where this charge Q, say a charge Q has to be kept so that this will be in equilibrium. Now you tell me one thing. This charge is plus Q charge. If it is plus Q charge, if we keep it here in between, Okay, if we keep it here in between somewhere, so can the equilibrium be established?
No, sir.
It can be, not a problem.
No, sir.
See, suppose we keep it somewhere here. So this charge will be repelling it and this charge will be repelling it. If these forces are equal, then it will be possible. Okay, it will be possible.
Sir, actually your voice is breaking.
Sir, actually your voice is breaking
Is
and
it,
you're lagging
is it
also.
still there? Remember that the equilibrium can be achieved. It is not like equilibrium can't be achieved here. It can be achieved. Equilibrium can be established at this point. Let Q charge is kept here. What will happen? This plus 4E charge will repel it. Okay. Let the force is F1. And this plus E charge will also repel it. Let the force be F2. And these forces for equilibrium, for stable equilibrium, these forces should be equal. That is, F1 should be equal to, now what is F1? F1 is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, which we write K, Q1. Now for F1, this is the force exerted by 4E on this Q. So it will be 4E into Q divided by, okay, now the distance is not mentioned. So let this distance is X. If this distance is X, so the remaining distance will be A minus X. So we can write it as X square. And that is equals to K E into Q upon A minus X square. E into Q and E into Q is cancelled. K is cancelled. So this will be A minus X upon X whole square, and that is equals to 1 by 4. Or you can write A minus X, just a minute. Or you can write A minus X, A minus X upon X is equal to 1 by 2. Or you can write A minus X into 2 is equal to X. Twice A is equals to thrice X. X is equal to 2A by 3. So this distance should be 2A by 3. Okay, so it should be kept at a distance 2A by 3 so that equilibrium can be achieved. So see, electric field, when we talk about electric field, so do remember that around any charge, suppose this is the charge plus Q. So around any charge, there is a region or there is a space. Okay, in this charge, in this space, the influence of the charge can be experienced. Okay, influence of the charge can be experienced. Influence can be experienced. Now who will experience this influence? Of course the other charged bodies will experience. Correct? Other charged bodies will experience this. Can be experienced. So suppose you keep a small charge near to this, then what will happen? That this, say this is Q naught, a test charge. Q naught is called a test charge. So what will happen when you keep,
or it will either attract or repel depending
so that is the
upon
electric effect. This is what is called the electric effect. Okay, so either it will attract or repel on the basis of the sign of the charge. So electric field is basically the region or a space around the charge in which its influence can be experienced. Okay, now how do you,
similar like a magnetic field.
of course, field concept is that only. Okay, so of course it is like a magnetic field only, similar to magnetic field. Okay, there are certain differences, but as far as the basics of that field concept is concerned, yes, they are same. Now then comes another topic related to this, and it is called strength of electric field. strength of electric field. Okay, now the strength of electric field is given by a term which is called, or it is defined by a term which is called electric field intensity. Electric field intensity. Okay, so this is the term which actually gives us the idea about the strength, means what is the strength of the field at a place. Okay, and how do we define it? So it is defined as, suppose we have to find the electric field strength at a point. So for that, what we do, we define it like this. Suppose electric field intensity at a position R, and that is given by force experienced at that position by a unit positive test charge. This is how we define it. What does it mean? Suppose if Q naught is 1 coulomb plus 1 coulomb. So the force experience, if it is 1, then the force experience will be equal to electric field intensity. Force experience will be equal to electric field intensity at that point. So obviously the direction of electric field is same as the direction of the force experienced by this charge. Agreed? Direction of field is same as the direction of the force experienced by this charge when it is kept at that point. Now at that point means what? See, this is Q charge, and suppose near to this there is electric field. Of course there will be, and you are randomly selecting one point, say this is point P, and suppose its position vector is taken R vector. Okay, so here we have mentioned this, that this particular point in electric field intensity, this particular point is actually R. Okay, see this here, right? So this is the point R here in the electric field region. Okay, and this is what is the direction of the electric field. It is similar, it is same as that of the force experience. Now what will be the unit of this? Now, as far as unit of it is concerned, as you know that it is F upon Q. So unit has to be Newton per coulomb, because force has the unit Newton and charge has the unit coulomb. Obviously this is a vector quantity, because you know that force is a vector quantity, and it is depending on the force, so it has to be a vector quantity, and its direction is same as that of the force, as we already mentioned. Okay, am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Now
Yes, sir.
after this, there is one twist in this particular concept, and that twist is, you see this Q naught, we have taken this Q naught plus 1 coulomb, but we also have the idea about the magnitude of 1 coulomb charge. It is immense, you know. Last time we discussed about how much big this charge is. Okay, and that's why what will happen, that this 1 coulomb charge may affect the source charge itself. It may affect the source charge itself. What does it mean? See, this is the source charge. Okay, here we have the source charge. This is called source charge, and the other one is called test charge. So if this is the source charge, do remember this, that this test charge, because it's 1 coulomb, 1 coulomb is a great value, so it may affect the source charge itself. So we need something other than 1 coulomb charge, and for that a new definition of electric field is given. According to this, electric field intensity at a point is equal to limit, just a minute, is equal to limit. Okay, now here we are using the concept of differential, concept which we earlier used in differential. Limit Q naught tends to 0, concept of neighborhood, if you remember, F vector R upon Q naught, and this is what is actually the definition of electric field intensity, where you have taken this Q naught as a very, very, very small charge. How much small? How much small? That it tends to zero. Tends to zero means almost zero, means this charge is a very small charge which is not going to affect the source charge. Okay, in fact it will be affected by the source charge. It is not going to affect the source charge. Am I clear? Do remember that direction of electric field is always from positive to negative charge. Okay, like if we draw an electric field like this, so do remember that if we keep a charge like this here, Q naught, then it will always move in the direction of the field. This is called field line. What do we call it? Field line. So this positive charge will always move along the field line, and it means that the field lines are always from positive charge to negative charge. Now there is a reason behind this. Okay, why is it so? The reason behind this is that suppose this is the positive charge and we are trying to plot the electric field lines. In order to do that, what we assume that we take a unit charge. Okay, we take a test charge. Do remember that this test charge very small, Q naught tends to zero like test charge we took. But do remember that this test charge, when it is kept, by convention we have taken that the test charge is always positive. Okay, this is a convention. Now you can't change the convention, you know that, right? So test charge conventionally is taken as positive. So what will happen? This positive charge will repel this positive charge like this. If this positive charge, test charge, is kept here, it will repel it like this. If it is kept here, it will repel it like this. If it is kept here, it will repel it like this. Am I clear? So you can get the idea about the diagram of the electric field line around a positive charge. Agreed? Am I clear? So this is how it looks like, and the reason being because test charge conventionally test charge is taken positive. Okay, that is the reason. Now on the other side, if we try to draw for negative charges, now see, just opposite will happen here. This is the negative charge. Now if we want to draw it for negative charge, now in that case what is going to happen is, this is the negative charge. So when we'll keep a test charge, positive charge here, infinitesimal charge, so it will be attracted because it's a positive charge. So it will be attracted towards the negative charge like this, like this, like this, like this. Isn't? So you can see that all these electric field lines, they are moving towards the charge, negative charge. And the reason being again, because this test charge is actually a positive charge, and because of that it is happening. Okay, so this is how you can draw the electric field lines around the positive and the negative charges. Now comes the magnitude of the charge. Okay, magnitude of the electric field intensity. Let's define that also around the charge. So do remember, if there is, say there is a charge, okay, and let us call it Q. This is the charge Q. And what we have done, we have kept this charge at point A. Okay, suppose you have to find the electric field intensity at this point P. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just join this first. Okay, and we'll try to find the position vector of this. Let the position vector is R vector. Okay, position vector is R vector. Now what will happen? If we have to find the force acting on this, we have to find the electric field intensity at this point P. Electric field intensity at point P, EP, that's what we have to find. So how will we do that? So first of all, what we'll do, we will keep a test charge q naught on this point. Okay, we'll keep a test charge on this point, and once we cap the test charge on this point, what we will do, we will try to find the force on this. So let's find the force F, Fp. Okay, and this will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1. What is q1 here? Q1 is q, q2 is q naught, and upon r square, and r is here the position vector. Okay, this is position vector and its magnitude r square. Okay, and then we can also write r cap. Now what this r cap is? It is called unit vector which is acting in this direction. This is r cap. Agreed? This is r cap. So this is the force acting on a test charge q naught which is kept at this point. Okay, now if q naught is 1, or if we can write it like this, say electric field intensity at point P, it can be given as Fp vector upon q naught, and that is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square and r cap. Can we write it like this? Okay, because what we did is we took this q naught this side, and this is nothing but the electric field intensity at point P. Okay, this is the electric field intensity at point P. Agreed? So this is the formula for the electric field intensity. Direction is of course away from the charge here. Okay, because here we have the positive charge. So formula for the electric field intensity will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square r cap, where r is the position, r vector is the position vector, and r cap is actually the unit vector in the direction of this position vector. So this is how we had to do it. I hope that this is clear to you.